Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. City News Everywhere reports that New Democrats and various unions are issuing a stark warning. Federal job cuts and the closure of research facilities threaten to undermine Canada's food safety and security. The federal government plans to eliminate over 650 positions at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, with the Agriculture Union indicating an additional 600 job cuts at the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Furthermore, Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada announced earlier this year its intention to close 3 research and development centers and 4 satellite research farms to reduce costs. Milton Dyke, national president of the Agriculture Union, emphasizes that Canada's food safety system relies on both inspection and agricultural research, both now deemed at risk. Sean O'Reilly, president of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada, recently stated that government savings should not compromise food safety. NDP agriculture critic Gord Johns described these cuts as risky, particularly given the current challenges of skyrocketing food prices, climate change instability, and increasing pressure on farmers and food systems. Demand for hotel accommodations in Toronto during the FIFA World Cup is reportedly not meeting expectations, according to an official speaking to CTV News. This comes after FIFA, the sport's governing body, canceled thousands of previously booked hotel rooms. The exact reasons for the cancellations and the extent to which demand is lagging behind projections were not detailed. The situation raises concerns about the economic impact on Toronto's hospitality sector, which had likely anticipated a significant influx of visitors for the major international sporting event. Further details on the specific expectations and current booking rates were not provided in the report. Fairy Creek anti-logging protesters have achieved a significant legal victory, winning an appeal against a court ruling that had previously denied the certification of their proposed class action lawsuit. According to CTV News, the lawsuit is directed against the federal and provincial governments. The British Columbia Court of Appeal has now sent the class action application back to the BC Supreme Court for a new decision, citing multiple errors in the original judge's rejection of the claim. The applicants, identified as protesters Arvind Singh Dang and Christy Morgan, contend that the RCMP unlawfully restricted access for them and other individuals to the protest site on Vancouver Island. This site was the focal point of demonstrations against old-growth logging, where Teal Cedar Products held an injunction. The appeal ruling highlighted errors in the lower court's refusal to admit affidavits and its conclusion that the proposed class was overly broad. It also found fault with the initial judge's determination that charter issues related to the exclusion zone policy lacked commonality, and that a class proceeding was not the preferred method for resolution. This ongoing litigation stems from protests and logging activities that took place between 2021 and 2023, during which hundreds of people were arrested. The certification is sought on behalf of anyone whose charter rights were infringed by the RCMP's enforcement. From Global News, 12 black bears from Marineland are on their way to a sanctuary in Colorado, marking a significant step as the Niagara Falls amusement park winds down its operations. The bears are headed to the Wild Animal Sanctuary, a charity that provides a vast property for nearly 1,000 large carnivores, including bears, lions, and tigers. The move, described as smooth by the sanctuary's executive director Pat Craig, involved extensive preparation. Each bear will now have access to approximately 40 hectares of land, a space likened to 75 football fields, featuring its own evergreen forest. This relocation comes as Marineland's future is uncertain following the death of its owner, and the land being put up for sale. The park is also in the process of relocating hundreds of deer and is seeking to move its marine mammals to American aquariums. One person in Ontario who recently traveled to East Africa has been hospitalized and is being tested for the Ebola virus, as reported by the Canadian press. Ontario's Ministry of Health states that this testing is a precautionary measure, given the individual's travel history and an ongoing outbreak of a rare type of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo and neighboring Uganda. The World Health Organization estimates nearly 600 suspected cases and 139 suspected deaths in the region, noting a low global risk but a high national and regional risk. Canada has never recorded a case of the Ebola virus, and Global Affairs Canada confirmed it is not aware of any Canadians affected by the current Ebola Bundibugyo outbreak, for which no vaccine exists. Symptoms of the virus include fever, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle pain, and internal and external bleeding in later stages of the illness. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.